I'm going to introduce tonight, and pretty much Ani's going to introduce her. These are just extraordinary people doing extraordinary work. I would like to introduce to the United Nations Special Rapporteur in the field of cultural rights, a professor of international law at the University of California Davis School of Law, a prolific writer and a Dayton Literary Peace Prize winner for nonfiction for her phenomenal book, Your Fatwa Does Not Apply Here. That's right, it does not apply here. And an MPV advisory board member. We would like to please give it up. We welcome our dear friend, Karima Benoune.
Thank you very much. It is a tremendous honor for me to be here with you this evening, and I thank Muslims for Progressive Values for inviting me. And this week, we are really reminded that the struggle for women's dignity and human rights is a global struggle that needs to be waged here and all around the world. And I know that the spirit of the woman whose story I'm about to read you will be with those women who take to the streets next Saturday. I'm very honored as the Special Rapporteur in the field of cultural rights to share with you the story of Qandeel Balooch. My name is Qandeel Balooch. I was an actress, model, modern-day feminist, and social media celebrity. I was born in Pakistan with the name Fawzia Azim on the first day of March, 1990, a spring child born in the winter of a conservative society. I suppose my life was typical. I grew up with 6 brothers and 6 sisters, and my first job was as a bus hostess. What wasn't typical was my inner fire. I saw that unjust and unfair treatment of women was a norm in Pakistan, so I decided to challenge that norm. As a teenager, already, I became an outspoken advocate of women's rights. On Facebook, where I had 750,000 followers, I called for women to stand together to fight for their own rights. Social media platforms like Twitter, all these tools that teenagers took for granted, were a stage where I could show the power women had as agents of change. I had something to say, and I wanted the whole world to hear me. When I was 17, I married a man who returned my idealism with harsh abuse. When I was 18, I did what many women in my position do not have the luxury of doing. I left him. Although it was perhaps not the norm to do so, I believed that oppression and violence toward women should never be considered normal. A woman should have the freedom to challenge norms that chain her down, to live life on her own terms, and this I did, and I never looked back. In 2013, when I was 23, I auditioned for Pakistan Idol. Although I was rejected from the show and I cried on the internet, that audition launched my career and I became famous. I supported my family with my earnings. Using my celebrity as a soapbox, I openly spoke about women's rights and my past. I wanted to be an inspiration to women who are treated badly. Sometimes I was just having fun and I got dressed up and I asked viewers, how am I looking? And yes, I did threaten to perform a striptease online if Pakistan beat India at cricket, but they lost, so I didn't. I didn't care about being hated. If people hated me, that meant I was in their minds. It meant that I got people thinking about my message. This made me notorious and people tried to silence me, but I did not look back. I posted, I will remain special. I will dare to do different things which people will never dare to do. I was a sensation. People started comparing me to Kim Kardashian, although I don't think Kim received death threats. The threats I got were disturbing, but I knew it was a sign that I was succeeding. At least the international media could see that I was trying to challenge the norm, to change the mindset of an orthodox society. Still, I did not feel safe. My videos created so much anger and hatred that people wanted to take my life. The threats were proof that I needed to continue, that no one was going to fight for my rights except me. In June 2016, I met with Mufti Abdul Qawi to learn more about Islam, and then I posted selfies of the encounter. Once again, a scandal erupted, forcing the Mufti to lose his position, and more death threats came in. And again, I did not look back. The next month, July, I released a music video called Ban, in which I mocked cultural norms. More death threats came in. I feared for my life again, but I said I will bounce back. And I said this because I wanted to inspire women who have been treated badly, who have been dominated by society. And still I did not look back. On July 14th, I tweeted, "As a woman, we must stand up for ourselves. As a woman, we must stand up for each other. As a woman, we must stand." I was standing up before the world. I wasn't looking back. On July 15th, I stared into the camera defiantly, wearing leopard print trousers and a black tank top. I did not know that would be my last photo. On July 15th, I died. Or rather, I was murdered by my brother. It was a so-called honor killing, like that of 212 other women in Pakistan in the first half of 2016. My brother wanted to preserve his honor, so he drugged me and then strangled me in my sleep. He felt dishonored by me, so he dishonored himself. He murdered me for fighting for my rights as a woman. And in his confession, he said he was proud of what he had done, that by bringing honor to his family, he had earned his place in heaven. He argued that girls are born to stay home and follow traditions, and he said, "My sister never did that." Later, our mother claimed to the media that my brother had acted on the advice of the Mufti. Now that I am no more, I do look back. I look back on a society that calls injustice normal and calls murder honor and calls a woman who contradicts those things scandalous. I look back in disbelief. I look back on you. And I urge you, it is time to bring on change because the world is changing. Let's open our minds and live in the present. Now that I will never tweet again, don't forget what I tweeted a few days before I died. One female can make a difference. My name is Qandeel Balooch.